Hey everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV. Ste and Errol back together. Have you missed me?
A little bit. Where have you been? No,
I've been
I
away.
know where you've been.
I've been away. It's
jealous of where you've been. I
had a good time. I've been like keeping tabs from afar. Obviously, it's like there's been a lot of different people on the watch along. I still think we're the best, and I know that's. I'll be honest. Sorry, Dan. I know he's out there, and sorry to everyone else who's been on it. But I'll be honest. I still think we do it better than anyone else, and I include Paul and Chris in that. And I tell them this to the faces all the time. They disagree, but I think we're the dream team. So fingers crossed, we deliver again. Liverpool very, very rarely lose when me and Errol put together. We usually win. The odd little draw, touch wood, that continues today. But yeah, thanks very much for joining us for this one. If you're watching this on Twitter right now, do come over to YouTube and check out the entire show. We'll be reacting to Liverpool's team news, which will break in roughly 14 minutes time. So yeah, come on over. For those of you now who are watching on YouTube, do us a favour, get in the comments section, get in the live chat, and get interact with the show. Same to our wonderful Redmen Plus club legends in the Discord chat. It'd be great to get your thoughts as well. Yeah,
people actually agree. People are agreeing with you. It's not a hot take.
No, it's my opinion. I think Paul's the best presenter, and I think Chris has got the best takes in terms of analytical brains. I think us two as a duo for this. I think it's our calling. I think it's what we're the best at. Anyway, let's move on. I'll be honest. I've been away for a long time. I've missed every game since Rangers away. Now I've seen them all. I was watching, but obviously I wasn't here. I must admit I haven't really took much notice of any other football.
Has anybody stood out for you in your time of your absence?
Honestly, I'm fascinated by Darwin Núñez. I can't get my head around him. I don't know.
Jekyll and Hyde.
I don't know if he's good. I think he probably is, but then but then sometimes I'm like, oh my god, does this lad ever play footy? I think Harvey Elliott's still been Liverpool's best outfield player. Yeah. I still think Alisson's Liverpool's player of the season so far, which is, and I wrote this on Twitter the other day, kind of sums up our season. When they got people like Forrest, I think I tweeted at the time, like, that kind of sums up where we are.
Well, I was in the pub watching us the other day, and I said to me, mate, the best two players of Liverpool season so far has been Alisson and set pieces. Yeah, like the set pieces, whatever we've done, they seem to have pulled us out of trouble a few times this season, absolutely. And we've been able to capitalise on them. But Alisson, as an actual player, has been head and shoulders above everyone.
It reminds me of Man United, like David De Gea's won their player of the season for a couple of years on the run, and it kind of, your goalie very rarely wins. Like Alisson's been brilliant for years, but it's shining a light on it more, the fact that we're rubbish at times, and it's showing. But that's what I've been thinking about it. But yeah, that's where we're at. In terms of like this game, Errol, like I say, we come into it on the back of a very good win, and I don't think it was the best performance you'll ever see, especially for the first half. It was poor, really poor, but obviously to get away with it, and they did turn things around. The rumour team, from what, by the way, the rumour team is that it's going to be one change from the Ajax team with Thiago coming in for Jordan Henderson. We'll confirm that later. That's what we've been told. Again, it'll be about 10 minutes time before we get to there. Before we even start, then thanks very much to Josh Owen with the £5 super chat. Says, nice to see you back. Stay hope you're good. A Darwin hat-trick tonight and a couple of assists from Trent. I honestly, sticking on that Núñez thing, he could do anything on a football pitch and it wouldn't surprise me. He can miss from 4 yards out and he can score from 40 yards, and that's where we're at with this guy. It's I don't know what, again, it's weird because when you're out, it's weird.
It goes from one end of the spectrum to the other end of the spectrum, doesn't he?
I've felt like what it's been to be a fan who doesn't live in Liverpool and around the area, and it maybe interacting with people every single day like we do here in the office or whatever. I've had my opinions, but I've been kind of checking in. But is that the general vibe on Darwin for you and from everyone else? Is that mad as a box of frogs, basically?
Literally that, mate. And my group chat was blowing up the other day in regards to the Darwin, and it's so hard because I said straight away, I forgive him for the sitter because I know he's going to score one of those over the shoulders 25-yard volleys first time top bins at some point this season, and we're all going to love him, and that's just going to get blasted all over socials for about a month because it's just going to be a contender for goal of the season. So I feel like in those moments of frustration, for every moment of frustration, there's going to be a moment of absolute brilliance.
The two ends of brilliance.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just trying to find a nice medium in the middle where it's like well-rounded. Yep. Do you know what I mean? Because I think it's very rough. He's a very rough, uncut diamond right now, and it's like if we can get round off some of those rugged edges or whatever it needs to be. For me, I feel like there's an actual player. It's just trying to get that consistency, and he's so unpredictable. But it's not like it's not like Diaz's unpredictability where he's just explosive and he can drop a shoulder and he can turn you, and he's got the skill and the techers to be unpredictable where you don't know what he's going to do. It just comes across as he doesn't even know what he's going to do. and that's what's really
I've said he kind of sums up Liverpool.
Yeah.
I mean, you know the Gattuso meme, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Yeah.
That sums up Liverpool this season. Manchester City sometimes maybe good, Nottingham Forest sometimes maybe shit.
Yeah.
And I think Darwin's kind of been in the same. Oh, you need a header scoring from 20. Yes, and I'll do that. You need me to score an open goal from 4 yards out or control a 2-yard pass. I can't do it.
But in his defence, and there's got to be a little bit of defence, I don't think he expects Bobby to put him in the place.
That's just one example.
I know, but I get what you're saying.
Just in general, he's got that about him. But what I would say is that I don't think he's shit. No. And that's what the general consensus from people who don't support Liverpool. And again, excuse me, it was interesting watching one of the games in a bar with and there was a couple of other fans from other places there, and they were like, "That Nunes lad's a bit crap, isn't he?" I was like, what have you seen? Oh, well, you know, that training ground video, and he got sent off. I was like, fucking hell, he scored like 6 goals. His record is good, really, really good. So I'm pretty sure he's going to start in. I wouldn't be surprised if he scores.
He scored more goals than Jesus in about 400 less minutes so far this season. And Jesus has been labelled a success by and large. I don't think
exactly that. Shout out to John Lee David Blackshaw, thanks very much. John says, welcome home, Steve. LFC will win tonight, you'll never walk alone. And he says, hi Errol as well. So shout out to you, mate. I hope you're doing well.
What up?
Yeah, in terms of this team then, if it is the team that we think it's going to be, with just one change, Thiago back's a bonus. I mean, I've never heard of a lad missing fucking matches with an earache, but there we go. Apparently it was worse than that, to be fair. He ended up in Aussie with the ear infection. But that day, again, it was early. I woke up to watch that Nottingham Forest game, and
you should have just stayed in bed and had a fucking lie-in.
Like, yeesh, okay, fair enough. Turns out, obviously, that they've funny in earache, so that's him missing. It was like fucking an excuse for missing school, whatever. Getting him back, so important. I thought personally, if he was going to play, it would be ahead of Fabinho. I thought he would have stuck with Henderson, but it looks like he's going to stick with Fab.
I think he needs to.
I think Fabinho's been our worst player
so far this season. Yeah, well, Level Up Dan does say, "Sapning lads, just on my way to the game. Thiago back is massive for us tonight.
Yeah,
Liverpool 3-1 Reds. Let's go Darwin, lad." And I think what you're saying is 100% right in the sense that Fabinho has looked a shadow of himself. Like he's not looked like the Fab that we've been so used to seeing. He's not looked like the lighthouse that Jurgen Klopp has heralded him as in the past. And I think it's sad, man, because he looked like he was running in cement the other day, and he just looks so indecisive about what he wants to do on the football pitch, and I feel like he's getting bullied by midfielders that aren't even technically as good as him, but he can't even really match up to him in terms of physicality. They're just getting in between him.
It's lads who shouldn't be able to lace his boots.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're sticking it on him.
Yeah. So I thought he might have been taken out. Maybe he doesn't play against Napoli, because I saw Chris, actually I listened on the playing back, I listened to Chris, Chloe and Jamie talking about like, there's 3 games this week and Napoli in the middle of Tottenham and Leeds. The fact that we're already qualified, how badly does Jurgen want to win the group? Does he think Liverpool can beat Napoli 3-0? Napoli one of the best teams in Europe at the moment. What's Napoli going to be? Blah, blah, blah. Is he going to rotate for Leeds? It turns out he's not. He looks like he's picking pretty much what he thinks his best team is. It might be that Henderson, they all play 2.
Well, we made that mistake by not picking our best team for Forest.
Yeah, I think maybe Henderson, Thiago and Fab all play 2 of 3. So one of them won't play against Napoli. I think he'll want Henderson and Fab. I don't know if he wants Fabinho against Tottenham. I think he might see Henderson and Fab midweek, and then Henderson and Thiago against Spurs. It'll all pan out. Listen, there's injuries, and listen, fucking Thiago could fucking get a sore throat and miss a month or something. Like we never know where we're at with that one. But yeah, I think if anyone can sum Liverpool's season up from the negative point of view, it probably would be Fab, because he's another one who hasn't been at his level. I think Van Dijk was there, and he looked like he's starting to get back to it, and a few others. But I still would you. Again, I'm saying this from my point of view. I haven't spoken to anyone for a while, but I do think Fab really could do it for performance today against the Leeds midfield. Again, he's going to be better than them.
I think for me, it's hard to really define what a good Fabinho performance is going to be.
Well, you don't notice him. He isn't actively bad. There aren't lads skipping by him. Yeah. That's when that's the thing with Fab. When lads are running past them, that's when you know.
That's when you know it's bad. But I think as well, when he was really good for us, he was helping us win the ball so high up the pitch. We didn't have to transition that much. Teams weren't able to get out. He was getting suffocated. I think teams have been able to break through our press so much easier this season. And I think that's a large part of that, or a large part of that responsibility is on the fact that he hasn't been playing up to his level. You're right. And when you said about Van Dijk, he had a bad, I'd say about 5-6 weeks, and he's looked like there have been games where he's vastly improved. And you're like, all right, yeah, you're starting to look back to a good solid level, you're probably nowhere still near the level we expect of and that we've seen from you in the past. I think that same can be said about, you know, Gomez. Gomez is another one for me. He's gonna drop a 10 one game and a 4 the next.
Yeah. Inconsistency, and that kind of sums up our season, mate. An inconsistent team. We're a team who can beat Manchester City, going with an Ajax 3-0 comfortably, going batter Rangers, and then lose to not. That's just what we've become this season. It's the away form, actually, the home form, and that could be a reason why me and you are good luck. Maybe, I don't know if it's because we're here, or if it's because Liverpool are good at home, but the home form's been good for the most part.
It's been solid enough.
Pretty much. Like, again, the Brighton game was a stinker, really, but more often than not, Liverpool have been decent enough at home. Yeah. It's the away form that's really killed them. Again, a Leeds side down the bottom of the table for a reason. They have not been good this season yet again. They're having another torrid one. It's another game where in the past we'd have just chalked this up as how many are Liverpool going to win by. Yeah. But because of the inconsistency of the team and of Liverpool's squad, A, we don't know what we're going to get, and B, that might be why Jürgen thinks he can't rotate. Usually, a home game in the middle of a busy period against teams at the bottom of the table, this is where you would drop in a Milner at right back, or you might see someone, you know, like a left field, like Carvalho for this season, or a Jones of years.
Get Ramsey as your right back.
He just can't afford. He can't trust the team to be able to perform at a level where he think he just has to go really, really strong. Would you say that's fair to say?
Absolutely, yeah, and that's just because we haven't given a large enough case sample to suggest that we can do that this season. And I think as seasons got by, you probably would have definitely made some of those big calls and got other players in, because you think, this is one of those games where it's kind of nailed on for us. We just need 2 of our best players to perform, and the rest of the team can kind of coast through the game, not really put themselves through any real intensity. Or there's got to be a level of intensity, but you don't have to really put themselves through it in order to see out the result. Play at your station, you'll be fine. We've not been able to get to the station enough times this season.
Yeah, and like I say, if Liverpool perform, Liverpool will beat Leeds United. They just will. Like, if Liverpool are 8 out of 10, Leeds can't match that. But what we saw against Forest is Liverpool, for the most part, were creativity-wise, they were all right. In front of goal, they were
blunt.
They were just crap. Like, they were like 2 out of 10. They were missing everything. That's the thing. If you're Leeds, you're thinking, you know what? They're vulnerable. We can get in amongst them. We've just seen one of our relegation rivals beat them, albeit it was away from home, it wasn't at Anfield. Why can't we do that? So they're coming full of confidence. Well, I say full of confidence, they're coming almost like, I think Jamie again described it on the build-up, it's like a bit of a free hit for them. They might as well just have a go see if they can push someone, see if they can get Trent under pressure, or see if they can get Joe Gomez feeling a bit nervous, or see if they can exploit Van Dijk like other players have done before. So we'll soon see how it pans out. But what are you expecting from the game in general? Are you expecting a win?
Oh, I'm expecting a win, yeah. Every time I sit in these seats with you on these shows, I expect us to win, do you know what I mean? Yeah. I've said the last couple of weeks, for me, performances are by the by. Until we get everybody back, until the World Cup's done, I'm not asked about, I'm not really that precious about a performance. I'm more concerned about the results. I think that Ajax game summed that up for me more than anything else, because the performance didn't really feel like it was ever really there. But some individual moments of brilliance, as well as being clinical in at times when we, like the Forest game, we could have carried on playing that game for another 4 or 5 hours and we probably still wouldn't have scored, enough to have beat them comfortably. So I feel as though the results matter more to me at this moment in time, especially where we are, being able to chalk up results and get 3 points on the board between, consistently from now until we go away to the World Cup and has that big break is the most important thing for me, and I don't really care in the manner in which we do it. Ugly 1-0 I'd happily take. I've seen a load of 3-1s in the chat, and my brother, I was with him before, he said the same. 3-1 team is out. Let's have a little gander. Was we right?
We'll come back to that one in a second. I'll make my way through. Let me just find it on the screen for you today. Yeah. I think it is what we thought it was going to be earlier on, but I'll bring it up on the board. I'm going to make my way over there,
and I will give you the 4-1-1. Right, it is Alisson in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Gomez, Van Dijk, Robertson making up that back four, Fabinho, Thiago, replacing Henderson there, Elliott, Salah, Firmino and Núñez, with substitutions of Kelleher, Konate, Milner, Henderson on the bench, Ox on the bench, Jones, Tsimikas, Carvalho and Phillips all making up the Liverpool bench this evening at Anfield against Leeds. So Steve's got a little bit of
work to do, a little bit of worky. It's fine, we're working our way through it. So I've got Thiago in midfield, Núñez, Firmino, Salah and Elliott. My bench, Kelleher, Konate, Costas.
There's no Naby.
No
lad.
Naby, so it's Ox, Hendo, Carvalho, Milner.
And Phillips. There was a Phillips in there
Curtis
as well.
Jones on the bench.
Yeah, Curtis Jones on the bench. And
Here's my ninth. Yeah. There we go. What's interesting, I'll run through very, very quickly then for those again, just a very quick one. Alisson, we've got Robbo, Virgil, Gomez, Trent, we've got Thiago and Fab, we've got Nunes, Firmino, Salah and Elliott, and like I say, a bench of Kelleher, Konate, Costas, Ox, Hendo, Carvalho, Milner, Phillips and Jones. What's interesting, Errol, is that it's the makeup of how this works, because I've always said on these shows, and I've been doing starting 11 prediction shows for a while, the last couple of years or whatever, it's going to be 4-3-3, let's fit the players in. I look at that now, and I think Chris done the starting 11 prediction, if I'm right, he's got like a 4-2-4. Yeah. We saw it against Ajax, it was more of like a diamond. Yeah. So it was a little bit more that-ish kind of thing, which is interesting. It was like Fab, then a bit more of a diamond with Bobby Firmino playing as a 10. We've seen Liverpool just go straight 4-2-4 before, like that pretty much as well. We've also seen like almost like your basic 4-4-2, so a little bit more like that. Now I can't see that being the case with Darwin Núñez on the pitch as well, but if I asked you, mate, what you think it's going to be and who you think's going to be where, how would you set this up if you were me?
I think they're probably going to go with the diamond again, just because we was able to be a little bit more clinical. You're probably going to have Núñez there in that 10 position, and you probably see my biggest. Like
so I think it could. So you think it
could be like that, but my biggest reservation is I don't always feel that Elliott is, right side of the midfielder. I don't think he is centre mid yet. Will he get there? Who knows? But I think it seemed to work for us at times. I don't think that's what I mean. I get why he's going to go for it for consistency, but then everything in my body says we were shocking in that system the other day against Ajax. We got lucky to be able to take the game away from them. If it was up to me, it would be the 4-2-3 and a 1.
So a bit that-ish?
Yeah, a little bit more like that. But I would probably have Salah on one side, so a little bit further back, put Salah to the right, yeah, like that. And then I'd probably have Núñez, and Bobby up top.
Yeah, 4-2-3, 1-ish, yeah. I don't know. I think he wants Salah up front because I think he's realised Liverpool don't score enough goals and he wants Salah there. So I think personally it's going to be more of that, like a fourth, almost a diamond. But I think he is going to stick with it because I think he wants Mo Salah up front near the goal. Darwin can go everywhere. It'll be fascinating. Let us know in the live chat now. I'll make my way back over.
What did you think watching it the other day? With that formation?
It was horrendous for the half and it was really good for the half. They kind of figured out. Maybe Jürgen goes, well, they clocked on to how to do it in the second half. Why not give it another go? Yeah. But I think he's going to stick with it. Let us know, like in the comment section in the live chat right below, what you like it to be, what you think it's going to be, and also if you're in the Discord, do the same. And as I make my way back over, I'll read some of those.
We've got Dabby set that says 4-2-2-2. We've got Anthony Boland that says 4-3-1-2 would make me happier. Craig Kendall says I think this is 4-3-3. Klopp said in his press conference they may change the formation again, so I think he might be reverting back. We've got Paul City Rocker that says 4-3-3. So yeah, we've got a few people there that have got a few variations on the formation. Yeah, we've got Ginny that says 4-3-3. Ginny 20 says 4-2-4.
Basically, no, we haven't got a fucking clue. So Leeds haven't got a clue. We'll be doing the watch along. Kick-off is in about just under an hour's time. So do join us for that. We'll go live about We'll go live about 6:30.
Yeah.
No, 7:30. 7:30. 7:30. I don't know what time is. Time difference is dummy. 7:30. 7:30 UK time, easy for me to say. Whatever that is, I don't even know. Figure that out for yourselves. It's basically in about 40 minutes time. Come back and join us that one. We'll look to go through even more. But yeah, in terms of reacting to the team itself, then I'm in the Club Legend Discord here. John Lee, David Blackshaw says that team looks great and very fluid. Happy days. Tree Frog, I think they play the diamond with Elliott wide and with Mo up top again. Yeah, and then we've got Jürgen Sticky Reds is looking for a Darwin Núñez brace, but I would love a Bobby goal too. And that's the thing here, mate, is that
everyone's fell in love with Bobby again. You've had a little Bobby renaissance.
And rightly so, because he's again,
a little loving.
So we spoke before about Liverpool's best players this season. He's also in that conversation.
Yeah,
But this is the thing, and it probably goes, usually because we're so good, you don't have to worry about formations. Jürgen just knows, here's our 4-3-3, here's the team, we dip lads in and out, but for the most part we do it, because he's searching for answers. There's injuries, which you can't ignore as well, there's lads striving for things. They are changing things up. So I suppose from a negative point of view, that just shows that things aren't going right. But if you spin it positive, Leeds haven't got a clue there. I'm looking at that now, and there are 4 or 5 reasonable options that it could be. Mo Salah could be up front or right wing. Nunes could be up front or left wing. Bobby could be as a 10, a midfielder or a striker. Harvey Elliott could be out on the wing, or he could be in midfield. Fab and Thiago could be a 2, he could be a 3. There's a lot to unpack. I don't think you can predict it anymore. Again, I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but that's where we're at now. Is that it's almost a case of wait and see, because
that's
we saw the lineup for the Ajax game. No one thought Diamond.
No, and I think you've also mentioned as well about that air of unpredictability. Even the players were coming out when results weren't going our way, saying teams know how to play us now. And when they publicly said that, it was almost as if to say, we need to get that. Let's become unpredictable again. Let's have teams second guessing themselves, because if they know how to play us, we're going to be in a lot more trouble this season, because we're just too rigid. And I think that level of fluidity that we can see within those players, they can interchange, they can move, they can slot in and move, slot in where needed. Nunes can drift out to the left. Bobby can rotate and switch between him and Elliott. That level of fluidity for us will help us be able to keep teams on the back foot, I think, that little bit more, and they'll be a little bit more apprehensive about how do we just go and attack this Liverpool team now, and because we don't know how they're going to settle. And
that's the thing, isn't it? Again, we saw roughly against Ajax, the pros and cons of changing your formation. It looked for the first 20 minutes or so, the players were a bit lost, and when they got their heads around it, it really worked well. Yeah. Interesting, Mo Salah, for me again, the demise of Mo Salah has been premature for that. Again, he's scored 10 goals already this season. Again, he's not had his amazing record because he's played 17 games, which is, for Mo Salah, is actually a great record. There you go, 10 goals already. What's interesting is he scored 6 goals against Leeds United already so far, and you wouldn't back him against them adding to that, would you? He obviously gets the hat-trick in 2020. He scored in that 3-0 at Ellen Road, obviously in September, and obviously we beat them 6-0. In February, and obviously Mo Salah scored 2 penalties in that one. His record against Leeds is good, and if you were a better man, which I am, and not everyone is, you wouldn't back against Mo Salah, especially if he's playing up front. These type of games where Mo Salah can fill his boots sometimes, and hopefully that's the case again tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I want him to. I think we need to see, obviously not going to be at the World Cup, so we need to see him start to find a little bit of form to the point where you can say, yeah, let's keep you fresh, let's get you a couple of weeks rest, let's just keep working on you and keeping your fitness up. But you've got the bit between your teeth. You've got that appetite for goal now, and you know that you're not like on I wouldn't say a bad run of form, but like, when you kind of like gone 4 or 5 games without scoring and then you don't play footy in 2 months. That's not the situation you want Salah to be going into.
You want to go into your break full of goals.
Full of goals, full of confidence. Can't wait to get back on the pitch with the boys.
Absolutely. We go through the Leeds lineup then. That's been announced as well. You've got Meslier in goal. Christensen, Struijk, Koch, Cooper, Rocket, Adams, Harrison, Aronson, Somerville and Rodrigo. Robles, Ayling, Fairpo, Llorente, Greenwood, Klitsch, Gelhard, Notto and Patrick Bamford make up their bench as well. They're sponsored by Wish, which is interesting because that's like the meme, isn't it? Like, if Wish did Premier League football teams, maybe that's what it is. I'll be honest, Leeds have been rubbish from what I've seen again this season, but like going back to the conversation earlier, they've got lads who will just run through brick walls. The manager's an intense fella, he really is. They might not have the quality, but they very rarely lack for effort. So minimum is from Liverpool. They know that they should have too much quality for Leeds, but they're gonna have to work the nuts off. They're not gonna be given nothing.
Yeah, Leeds won't earn it. It won't be like Leeds won't give us that in that respect, and we don't see a lot of teams that make mistakes against us anymore. And they do come and give their all. And I've said it for ages, mate. Like, teams always seem to find an extra gear when they have to come up against Liverpool. For whatever reason, they feel motivated because they might know that they're playing potentially one of the best teams in the world. Whatever it is, they want to prove themselves against, some of the, if one of a handful of the best teams that are out there. They always seem to up that level, and I think they always feel like one area now, especially where they can challenge us, is that desire and fitness and the application on the pitch, because that in terms of, I think, our season has been where we've let ourselves down probably the most. We've been outrun, we've been outfought, we've been outbattled,
which is disappointing.
Which is and it shouldn't be like that. Should be we've had this conversation on instant match shows. We've had this conversation, during watch-alongs, and we've said the bare minimum you should be given is that fight, that desire. You should be hungry to get those second balls. You shouldn't be getting outbattled in midfield and outfought. And we've seen it. Surely other football players have seen it, and they think, well, go ahead. Like that gives them a little bit of a boost and a G-up. Do you think, we can get something out of this, And I think until we, again, I say, that sample size of stomping teams out and saying, nah, where you're going to walk off that pitch absolutely sweating, you've got nothing left in your tank because we're going to run you into the ground. You're going to be chasing shadows and we'll run you into the ground. Only at that point will other teams think, actually, it's a long afternoon. If you're going to go and play Liverpool, be arsed. Let's just save a little bit of energy ourselves and go into next week's game and we'll have one mind or one eye on the game for next week anyway.
Looking at Google, in terms of looking at predictions and stuff online, I've got it on my screen here. They think Liverpool are going to be playing that diamond again. What's interesting is that they've got Leeds playing more of a 4-2-3-1.
That's how I would have said.
Yeah, I'm guessing Rodrigo playing up front with Aronson just behind him, Somerville, and obviously Harrison, who scored at Anfield in the past, playing there. Adams and Rocker in midfield. What do you make of Koch?
As a defender.
But yeah. Is he solid?
I
haven't seen that lineup, maybe.
He's not one of their standout performers, and he's more. He can be a bit of a letdown at times. Bit of a liability as the Cock.
We've all been there.
But yeah, no, I think again that Rodrigo, he's a bit of a handful. I think he's probably one of their more active players where you'd expect a little bit more of a threat from him. It's probably the set pieces where you're probably expecting your Cock to rise to the challenge.
Yeah, man.
And that's probably as much as I can say.
I do apologise. We're 30-odd-year-old fellas, but here we go. What's interesting is that with Rodrigo, actually, is that he was playing midfield a lot. At times, again, it looks like he's going to stick him up front without Patrick Bamford. He'll be on the bench. I'm sure he'll come on at some point with the five. So, but yeah, again, it looks more like a Leeds team. It's interesting because that looks like a team more that doesn't want to get beat than a team that's come to really rustle it, which again, they might just think, well, Liverpool are on, but maybe we can frustrate them and try and, like, we saw West Ham almost do this to an extent, just try and frustrate, be solid and maybe nick one. And listen, West Ham had a James Milner block away and miss penalty away from getting themselves a point. Yeah. We saw Newcastle kind of do the same, where if you're relatively solid, Liverpool don't look like the team that are going to bang goals past you. But that was the past Liverpool. This Liverpool team now has got Firmino, Salah, Nunes, Elliott on the pitch all at once. Thiago there pulling strings. It feels to me like there's a chance, and I hope I'm right, that this could be one of those games where Liverpool can get themselves right and they can score goals. And maybe against a not great Leeds team, that's certainly in play. And I've got a feeling we're going to see that. But I hope, again, nothing would shock me anymore with these Reds.
No, it wouldn't. But I think when he puts out, not necessarily that formation, but he puts out that level of personality within that those people in that line, or when he puts out that 11, you think he's basically going all in. He's doubling down on the fact that I ain't really got options to really bring off the bench to change a game. Haven't really got any game changes. We've seen Carvalho pop up and do it once this season, so yeah, but you wouldn't put your house on it that he's going to come and do it again for you 4 or 5 times throughout the course of a season. He doesn't seem to have super sub powers yet. Maybe in a year's time, maybe 2 years' time, he might develop into a bit more of an impact and output type of player. But for now, when you line up like that, you've got your big hitters on the pitch from the first whistle. You're expecting them to get you 2-3 goals, and then you can bring on players to manage the game. That's where we've been left at the moment. With the amount of injuries we've got and we've kind of got to deal with, I think that's probably our best route to trying to get results. Don't try and manage the game where you're going to bring people on for impact. You've just got to blow teams away within the first hour and hope that you can actually manage a game once you've got the game in control.
Fingers
in control of the results.
And like I say, yeah, you're right. If Liverpool have got any ambitions to go and batter Napoli, the best way to do it is to batter Leeds and get some lads off and save legs. So if you can save half an hour for them, a couple of legs, then maybe that's the point. But yeah, ultimately, like you said before, they have to just win this game. Results today have been mixed in terms of what we're in now is a top 4 race. And Paul's been saying this for a while, and I agree with him. Top 4 races aren't actually that hard. finishing fourth in the Premier League, you can lose quite a few games.
Well, I said this to you even more. Like, I'm glad that we've accepted we're in a top 4 race in fucking October, because we've got the whole season to secure top 4.
We saw
That's
today,
not a bad thing.
Chelsea got battered, Tottenham only just, obviously they come from
nicked
behind.
it, didn't they?
I know, Newcastle win, but like Brighton are in this mix, Man United are floating around it, but yeah, a couple of wins and all of a sudden like Liverpool could go into November with the fixture list in the Premier League. Listen, there's winnable games. Tottenham away won't be easy, but you've got Leeds in there, you've got Southampton there. They get games at home that you'd expect the Reds to get stuff from. Liverpool can get themselves well in there. It isn't where we want it to be, but in terms of salvaging a season, it's the top 4 race, and we saw this the year that they ended up finishing third. Obviously the COVID season is that you only have to put a win of like 3 or 4 games together and you rise up the Premier League like really quickly. But you've got to do it, because the reason you're in a top 4 battle is because you haven't been able to do that. So hopefully that starts tonight. Leeds United, like I say, kick-off is in about 45 minutes time. Me and Errol are going to nip away for half an hour or so. We'll be back with the watch-along from 7:30 UK time in about half an hour. So yeah, thanks for joining us for the Team News reaction show. Come back and join us in half an hour's time for the watch-along. We'll be there 15 minutes before kick-off, right through the game with our biased commentary. Mute your tellies, put us on and listen to us while you watch the game on your TV. We'll be there post-match as well, with the final whistle, with the player ratings, with the fan reaction, and later on Redmen Plus with the instant match reaction final, where Joe will follow that on Monday as well. So we've got you covered every single angle. Come back and join us in half an hour, and I'll see you all in a bit. Take care.
Hi everybody, thanks for watching the show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give it a like on the way out. Did you know you could get some hoodies, t-shirts and any accessories from redmenmerch.com? So head on over there now and grab yourself something.